sequentially, not in order of importance. Central's Mayor Wade Evans is bowing out. He is opting out, not going to run for another term. He'll be on the hotline with us at 6:35. So let's get rolling. Top stories and trending. The Louisiana Department of Education, in partnership with Dream Teachers, honored the state's most outstanding educators over the weekend at the 20th annual Cecil J. Picard Educator Excellence Awards Gala at the National World War II Museum in New Orleans. Alicia Butler from the state's special school district, right here in Baton Rouge, School for the Visually Impaired, won Teacher of the Year. Lauren Williams Renthrop from St. Mary Parish is the Principal of the Year. Central's Mayor Wade Evans, as I said, the tease right there, Wade Evans announced he will not seek another term. In his statement, Evans also noted that public service with, quote, small town politics has become, quote, increasingly difficult. In other words, Central's going to Central. A 16-year-old is dead and one person is injured after a shooting on Oswego Street Friday night. According to BRPD, officers responded to the area at around 8 p.m. and found a male lying near a vehicle with gunshot wounds and a second victim on Wyandotte Street. 16-year-old Braylon Anderson died from his injuries. The second victim is expected to survive. No word on motive or suspects yet. Number 2. Mayor, we also teed this one up as well. Mayor Sid Edwards and Mayor Pro Tem Brandon Knoll put out a joint statement over the weekend after last week's communication snafu when the mayor spoke out against the city parish attorney joining a lawsuit against St. George. The long and the short of what they're proposing is, when appropriate, an item to be placed on the Metro Council's agenda before the city parish initiates or responds to any legal action. That way, everyone has a chance to sound off and the city parish can move forward as more of a unified front. Our news partners at WBRZ posting this up about 10 minutes ago. The search for the remains of a 15-year-old boy at a North Baton Rouge landfill is now entering its third week. Jadarius Manyweather was reported missing back on June 6th. His remains have yet to be found. They do believe he's in the landfill. We've talked about this with both Police Chief TJ Morris and Mayor Edwards. This is going to be an unbelievably elongated process, and I don't want to misquote, so let me paraphrase from one of the two of them. They're not expecting to find an actual body in the remains. I mean, a body is in like a full intact body. Like it's such a horrible story.
That's horrible.
I know.
Like bits and pieces of, God. Yeah, I know. Yeah. A federal appeals court this weekend rejected the Trump administration's attempt to implement an executive order restricting mail-in voting ahead of the midterm elections.
This is one of those weird stories where I have to agree in principle and disagree in spirit. The feds should have nothing to do with elections because elections are state run. There should be no federal mandate over elections because elections are state run. The feds can say, this is what day the elections are. Now states, you go run your elections. But we have statewide elections. We have state elections, and we have a Louisiana Secretary of State. We do not have federal elections on anything. And I would hesitate to allow for the possibility to let the feds take over the whole thing. Because you got to remember, if you're a Republican, while the people you like are in charge right now, they're not always going to be. So be careful what you wish for. Be careful what Pandora's box you open. This is one that, in principle, I agree with. In spirit, I don't necessarily. The mail-in thing is out of hand, but it's not up to me what the people of Maryland do. It's not up to Louisiana what the people of Washington do.
Right, and I had to research it to see what all of it was about, et cetera, et cetera. And you're right, Brian. Immediately what pops up after I did my research, this would cause a media burden on the states. Yeah. So, yeah. All right. The Trump administration is lifting its bans on imports of cattle from Mexico and attempt to lower the cost of beef at the consumer level. Okay. Yes, please.
Yeah. It's about dadgum time.
I know.
Oh, by the way.
Steaks are expensive. To make burgers are expensive on the grill.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just,
Oh yeah, it makes just, and everything else can go up, like every other form of protein can go up along with that as well. Look, I'm a huge fan of purchasing Louisiana beef on top of everything else.
oh yeah.
Like guys like Sean Segura Farms, like that's premium. You know you're getting top notch. You know you're getting quality. You know you're getting the best of the best. Here's the thing though: if they're the only game in town, if the domestic beef is the only game in town, let the fast food world go ahead and buy the Mexican beef. Like it helps balance out the overall game, supply, demand, where it's
Love
going.
that.
Yeah.
Love that. Well, Sam's Club stepped in it online right here in the Bayou State. This story, apparently they were selling Louisiana shirts where the landscape included a bayou, numerous trees, and get this, a backdrop of snow-covered mountains, because we got plenty of those here.
We do.
I love them.
Have you seen the sweatshirt?
No.
Okay, I'll show it to you during the break. But the sweatshirt, it looks like it's. I would describe it as a bayou, but it could just as easily be a creek. That's at the bottom of a number of mountains.
Montana, the scene of Virgin River over here.
Sure,
yeah,
we could roll with that. That would be actually a very apt example
because we have so much of that in Louisiana.
Well, it's the mountains in the background that really get you.
And what?
This was right down the street. I believe it was in Lafayette where it was found.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, do they still have them? Can we
mean,
purchase? Because I would want to buy one just for the hell of it.
Just ironically.
Yeah.
Yeah. An ironical sweatshirt.
Yep.
Also, who's got sweatshirts out in July?
That's what I'm saying. That was going to be my second question. Yeah. We're suffering over here. We don't want to wear a sweatshirt.
It's 6:12 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. We could do up for our first break. We got sports coming on the back end of the break. After our sports segment, we will tap into. Were y'all following the back and forth between Jeff Landry and Mitch Landrew over the weekend?
What happened?
And they're just going back and forth on Twitter. It's actually quite comical. Y'all are gonna know my take before I give it. If you don't start nothing, ain't gonna be nothing. That should tell you whose side I'm on in this one. But it's a fun time. We'll dig into that at 6:25. Central's Mayor Wade Evans at 6:35, and then Moral Dilemma Monday. Let's talk about. We started this conversation last week with a poll about guys wearing shorts in the office. Mm-hmm. We're going to broaden this out to talk about who gets to determine what is and is not appropriate. I mean, there's a simple answer, and then there's a more complex discussion. All that's on the way. Before we get you to break, though, let me remind you about the folks over at Mathern's. You know where to find them in real life. Downtown, they're on 3rd Street. They're in the Nicholson Gateway Shopping Center, directly across the street from Tiger Stadium. And, of course, Highland Road, just west of Kenilworth. That's the OG location. I want to start redirecting your attention back to that campus location because, well, LSU is going to be reporting to camp soon, which means football's just around the corner. I mean, once football season is in the air, Mathern's is your go-to on game day. They're open all game day long. So when you hit campus and you realize, oops, I forgot this. Oops, we didn't have enough charcoal. Whatever the case might be. Oops, we ran out of beer. Whatever the case might be. And that Clemson game. I mean, that Clemson game. The way the beer's going to be going down and it's going to be hot. You want to swing by Mathern's and grab another case of beer and a case of water to hydrate, you could do that. Before you do, though, download the app so you can earn cash towards more groceries every time you shop at Mathern's.
Yeah, I know it's HR, Alan, but yeah, I know it's HR that determines that, but it just begs the bigger question, an overall broader question. Talk 107.3. Okay, sounds good. I thought that was that crazy man.
Nope. We're just going to leave that sitting there all show long so we don't have to deal with shit.
Okay.
No clue. Potentially, you can throw out the cuts for this segment, Breland. We're not going to get to them. Potentially a big get for Tigers, LSU baseball Tigers over the weekend. Logan Schmidt was the number 59 overall pick in the most recent Major League Baseball draft. He was picked by the Cleveland Guardians, and he announced via Instagram over the weekend, he said, after a great deal of thought and conversations with my agent, Garrett Parcell, others at the Paragon Group, my family, and those I trust most, I have made the difficult decision to not sign with the Cleveland Guardians. I have a great I should have clicked on that. Sorry. There it is. I have a great deal of respect for that organization and for everyone I met throughout this process. We were not able to come to an agreement, but I appreciate the time they invested in getting to know me and my family. To my family, my coaches, my teammates, and everyone who has supported me along the way, thank you. Your belief in me means more than I can put into words. I am excited for what's next. Now, here's the thing. What is next? Because Logan Schmidt was a signee to the most recent LSU recruiting class. So the immediate thought is, well, hey, he must be a Tiger on the way, right? Probably, but maybe not. Missing in that Instagram post was him saying what's next. He only said, I'm looking forward to what's next. He did not say what was actually next. So the question then becomes, if not LSU, then what? Well, if he comes to LSU, he's going to have to stay at LSU for a little while, a couple years, in fact. If, however, he decides to go the JUCO route, he could be back in Major League Baseball's draft next year. So we'll see how it plays out, but it is on the way to being a get for LSU. Keep your fingers crossed. Oh. Rum is so evil. Just say that. Rum on the front end, it's so sweet and lovable. Well, I didn't have a pina colada. I had Bushwhackers on Saturday at Tacky Jack's, and then Sunday I had something called a Shark Attack at the Hangout. Yeah. Well, you know what? We're not going to use any LRN cuts today at all. I might save some after the show because that Cleo Field story that I didn't even have it in the rundown for you. There's a Cleo Field story that I wrote a whole segment on, and then remember we had Sid Edwards at 8:05, so we got to bump this day in history up. So actually, well, I mean, there's only so many possible ways to say we're looking good, because we're looking good. Little to no volume on I-12 westbound coming in from Livingston Parish. Little to no volume on I-10 westbound coming in from Ascension Parish. 10 east coming back across from the other side of the river looks great. Now, 110, you're looking good in both directions. However, there is one surface street exit to report, and it's right near I-110. It's Scotland Avenue at 110, but that's really doesn't seem to be getting in anyone's way, as the accident itself has been pushed off the road. It's just, without that, we'd have literally nothing else to report on. That's your look at traffic from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center. Guarantee Health Solutions, guaranteehealth.com is the website, guaranteehealth.com. Who is in need of Guarantee Health Solutions? Well, if you run a medical office of any kind, I would highly recommend you check out guaranteehealth.com just to find out how you're doing. How is your doctor-patient or staff-patient relationship looking? Not talking just bedside manner. I'm talking the relationship the whole way through and through. If there's room for improvement, if there's room to get better, you can and will get better with guaranteehealth.com. And you will also learn while you're at guaranteehealth.com how to utilize that to make sure you're growing your business the right way. Growing your business strong, but growing it the right way. Learn more at guaranteehealth.com. If you run an urgent care, if you run just a simple medical practice, specialty group, physical therapy, full-on hospital, whatever it is that you are in the medical space, guaranteehealth.com. All right, we've got a bit of a spat brewing between Jeff Landry and former mayor of New Orleans, Mitch Landrieu. And I'm just going to dive right in. Reading from our news partners over at WBRZ over the weekend. In fact, they posted this one up yesterday morning. Former New Orleans Mayor Mitch Landrieu accused Governor Jeff Landry of attacking the city of New Orleans with his recent comments, with the governor firing back by attacking the former mayor's handling of the city. Over the past week and beyond, Landry has sparked a feud with the city of New Orleans, saying that New Orleans is no longer as important to the state as it once was. I'm going to stop right there for just a second. In the 1960s, more than 600,000 people lived in New Orleans. In 2020, I believe it was the most recent count, that number's down to like 350,000. Now, to be fair, Hurricane Katrina did a number on the city. Absolutely. But a lot of those people have since returned that were there from Katrina. And the numbers year over year, or I should say decade over decade, or more to the point, generation over generation, continue to overall decline. Forget the ebbs and flows of any one particular storm. The numbers continue to decline. And it's when New Orleans decides to put their head in the sand on that end and continue to act like they're still on top of the mountain without the least bit of humility to say something's obviously amiss here and we need a course correction. I will also stop right here to continue to say New Orleans is a world-class city, a world-renowned city. New Orleans is Louisiana's connection to the rest of the globe. And New Orleans has the most potential to be a global powerhouse. Absolutely. All right, so just so we're all clear, I'm not hating on the city of New Orleans. But when ego gets in the way, it does become a problem. Let me get back to the story. The governor also accused New Orleans officials of not being able to solve problems that have persisted in the city since Hurricane Katrina. On Friday, Landrieu posted a column where he wrote for the Times-Picayune on social media opposing Landry's claims. It's going to be tough. One's Landry and one's Landrieu. If Governor Landry wants to sit back while Louisiana falls behind our neighbors and pick fights with the city, driving the state's economy, so be it. But I won't let him lie about New Orleans. New Orleans is an asset, he wrote. Undercutting New Orleans punishes Louisiana. It's time to end the war on New Orleans. Stop right there for just a second. There's not a war on New Orleans. To say that New Orleans is not what it once was is a matter of fact. It is objectively not what it once was. That's not to say that it can't be great again. And also, oh, by the way, Governor Landry has taken more interest in New Orleans than a lot of previous governors. And that should be noted, because a big part of making New Orleans what it can be is cleaning up crime in the city. Troop NOLA is a big deal, and Troop NOLA is effective. And if you want to rewind the clock, this all started, this whole back and forth, most recent round, I should say, started when you had a stack of BS indictments thrown at our state's attorney general, which, by the way, the state AG's office helping the New Orleans DA's office also helps knock down crime in New Orleans. But I'll go back to the spat. In response to former Mayor Landrieu, Governor Landry claimed that Landrieu, who served as mayor from 2010 to 2018, left New Orleans in a state of crime and violence and did not do a thing to better its financial position. Landry went on to say, please go back to D.C. and crawl into one of those woke defund the police holes, Landry added. All right, this is going to sound like I'm taking both sides of the fence on this one, and I'm not, but it is worth noting that Mitch Landrieu inherited an absolute mess. Mitch Landrieu was not New Orleans' problem after Katrina. Mitch Landrieu was taking on everything that Ray Nagin just completely dropped the ball on. To go from Nagin to Landrieu was like, and I know, is that when you look at the timeline, 4 years to clean up, yeah, it was massive devastation. You can't rebuild a city that took 100 years to build. You can't rebuild it in 4. I get that, but they were nowhere when Landrieu took office. They were starting to be somewhere when Landrieu left office. That being said, who asked Mitch Landrieu his take on this in the first place? I'm going to go back around to the whole, if you don't start nothing, ain't going to be nothing. That has been my take on this from the start. If there's not a stack of BS indictments, you don't see this thing turn the way it is. If you don't see social media posts that are snide and snarky, you don't see this the way it is. And now Mitch Landrieu wants to get involved when nobody called on him. Okay, he has a right to speak his mind, but you darn well better expect the governor to return serve. If Mitch Landrieu is going to come out of the doldrums to say, hey, stop taking shots at New Orleans, we're perfect, you better expect a response. Anyway, if you weren't following it over the weekend, it was quite fun, actually, to see the two going back and forth. I know it's to the detriment of the state, but I can't help myself sometimes. We'll see where that heads next. And, of course, we'll have Jeff Carrera on with us tomorrow morning. He's the host of Ringside Politics down in New Orleans. We'll chat with him about that. All right, we got Central Mayor Wade Evans on with us right after the break, which is coming up right now. We've got news, we got traffic, we got weather. We start with ABC right now. Bum 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 bum. He's in while Taylor's out on paternity leave. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Am I calling Wade? Or he's calling us?
He's calling us. In fact, he's calling us right now.
Hey, Wade, good morning. I'm doing good. How are you doing? Good. You had your cup of coffee yet? Oh, good. See, that's what matters too. Yeah, we'll be coming to you. Give us like 2 minutes, okay? I'm a widow.
Six 36 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Central's Mayor Wade Evans made it official over the weekend. Well, he made it Facebook official, which is really all you need in life, right? He will not be seeking another term as the mayor of Central. To go along with his announcement on Facebook, he made another post as well where he said, yesterday morning, as I sat on the balcony with a cup of coffee and the daily mass readings, I looked up and saw a deer standing quietly in the sand dunes. Then another appeared and another. It felt less like coincidence and more like an invitation to pay attention. I had come to the beach seeking clarity. My farewell statement had already been written a week earlier, but I was still praying for peace about the decision. On my final morning, I received it. God sent deer. As I watched them, I was reminded of something remarkable about their nature. Deer do not linger where they should not. Their survival depends on an instinct to know when it is time to move on. They don't leave because they're weak. They leave because they understand that staying too long can become dangerous. His post goes on from there, but I want to bring him on right now. Mayor Wade Evans, good morning. Welcome back. How are you, sir?
I'm doing wonderful, Brian. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, first of all, when you say daily mass readings, I'm working under the assumption that you're Catholic.
Yes.
Okay, second part is this was posted yesterday talking about the day before, so we're talking about Saturday's readings, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm assuming you were reading from the gospel where the sons of Zebedee's mother was talking to Jesus. Is that right?
Yeah, trying to control their outcome in heaven. Yes.
Okay, so because I went back and I looked up the reading, and it is a truly remarkable reading. And if you're Catholic, you know we've been in the book of Matthew recently. So basically, the sons of Zebedee, or Zebedee's wife, I guess, in this case, goes to Jesus and says, "Command my sons to sit your right and your left." And Jesus says, "You have no idea what you're asking for right now. Besides, that's not even mine to give them. We're all going to serve here, but you can't drink from the cup that I'm drinking from, or at least you don't know what you're asking when you say that." So walk us through how that got you to the clarity that you needed.
Well, I obviously the previous 3 days, the readings were very clear in what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to carry ourselves through it all. And, as humans, we all fall short. Obviously, I do every day. But I try to reset and recenter every time I fall short.
Mm-hmm.
And just sitting there that deer just appeared, which was so strange to see a deer in the sand dunes at the
Right.
beach. And it was a reminder of, hey, look at this deer. Look at how it's just doing its thing, and then it moved along.
Right.
But there was 3 of them, and I was a hunter before I got into politics because I don't have time to hunt anymore. And I would watch more deer than I would shoot, and it was just a mesmerizing moment. But it was clarity for me because we have done some tremendous work here in Central. We've been able to create systems and processes that anybody can step into the role now and do the job as long as they say yes or no at the right time. It does. You don't have to get crazy out of the box. Some of the people that are running have asked me, how do you do it? How do you go about doing it? And obviously I've offered to assist them in any way they need to keep going forward. But it's about just don't second guess too much.
Mm-hmm.
And when we live life through the filter of how would Jesus approach it, I mean, I was thinking as I was reading the readings this morning, Brian, it's about, it being the yeast. And how do we enhance what we're doing? How do we enhance the environment we're in? How do we enhance our organization? And that's how I carried myself. That's how I've governed. That's how I've managed. I'm a servant leader. And it was just made clear to me, hey, look, these deer are here. They came, they did what they needed to do, and then they went on. And I feel like in many ways that's where I'm at in Central. Staying would be great, but I feel like I've been blessed with a certain set of gifts and talents,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like it's time to expand that, whether it be in politics or private sector or consulting other governments. I'm not sure. I've consulted other cities over the past 4 years to show them how we do what we do in Central. I think we have a unique system that works well. And I think the other part of it is if you look at how Jesus operated with his 12, it was about building a collaboration. And look, we're not always going to agree, but when we work on these principles, we can come together and find common ground. And it's how I've ran my administration. I hate to see what we've created fall apart. So I want to make sure whoever comes in behind me understands, and we have a good transition. In Central, politics are very ugly, and I don't want to be a part of the ugly anymore. I'm just being such a front-facing, accessible guy has opened me up to criticism that it just has gotten vile, and it's ridiculous. Because I put my cell phone number on Facebook, because I speak openly about how God works through me and in my life. People who don't know you tend to say things and do things that are totally wrong. One of the issues I have right now is, and it's sad that there are political actors who like they use agencies to fight you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a letter circulating, I don't know if it's real or fake, saying I got to go to the ethics board on September 3rd. But, the fact is I haven't been contacted by ethics, and I've done nothing unethical, so I'm not worried about it. But it doesn't diminish what it creates when they put it out there. And I'm tired of looking over my shoulder. I'm tired of being the guy that's standing out there taking the darts. If the people of the city are happy, they're happy, and that's great. If the people are miserable, what I found is social media has become a cancer. And so I just had a lot of clarity for my spiritual health, for my well-being. That deer showed me, hey, it's time to move on.
Central's Mayor Wade Evans is on with us. And not to stick too much on the biblical here, but right in between Saturday's readings and this morning's readings, Mayor, the first reading at yesterday's Mass was Solomon asking the Lord for wisdom. So
Yes.
like right in the middle of that was asking for wisdom, not for riches, not for longevity, not for power, but wisdom right in the middle. So I wanted to hit that quickly before we roll over. Now,
Yeah.
okay, moving from metaphor to reality. Get us into this a little bit. Do we know the problem with social media is we have keyboard warriors who are going to say things all day online, but never to your face. Are you able to make that transition to track this back to whomever it came from? Central's not that big, although we know how nasty it can get.
Well, you got bad actors who use fake profiles,
Right.
And when you have fake profiles saying things, and they act as if though they're a real person, and it is a real person, but there's no accountability for it, and you've got people who say and do things. Look, I was at an LMA convention when I first got elected, and the mayor of Sulphur came to me and thanked me because one of his citizens, who was a constant keyboard warrior, if you will, in Sulphur, had moved to Central. And I'm like, wow. So, this guy has a history. And they're doing the same thing here, and it's unfortunate because they don't show up to any events. They don't show up to do any of the good stuff. They just cause chaos. And, if we want to fix Baton Rouge, if we want to fix any city, we've got to start focusing on what is good. We've got to start realizing and recognizing the contributions people can bring to the table. And we've got to stop shooting holes in things when we have no true information and fact. Because it just creates chaos. And,
Right.
You can get away from the biblical, but the reality is when you live as close to God as you can, you don't live in chaos. You don't live in confusion. You have peace. You have discernment. You know when you should say something and when you shouldn't. But people just seem to pop off, and there's no real accountability. I mean, unfortunately, you had a situation out here with a preacher and his neighbor, and I'm not saying one's right or wrong, but what I am saying is I've looked in the Catholic Bible, which has got more books than any other, and there's nowhere in it that says you should go beat somebody up because they talk to you or talk about you or say things to you. It's just, and I'm not going to question the pastor's theology, but I don't know where it's in the Bible that that's what Jesus teaches us when we read it in the whole context, not just a verse. And so it's troubling to me to see where society is because we can get so much better results when we work together.
Oh, absolutely. And it's amazing how, right at the box, in politics, they call it the honeymoon period. Right at the blocks, you could see that a heck of a lot more than as time wears on. Has there been a determining point where things actually changed? Was there, individual straws that broke the camel's back along the way? Are there incidents you can point to?
Well, in January, my personal life, I filed for divorce. I've been in a marriage for 20 years. It's been a very private marriage, and I knew that political fodder was going to be a part of it. But unfortunately, people who know truth of the reality of my life latch on to things and say things, and so it's brought my personal life way too much in the forefront. And so I'm going to take a step back from public life because it's really nobody's business how I live, as long as it's not affecting my job. There's nothing to it. The other thing is the pay. Look, as a public servant, you really just don't make much money. And I gave up a nice salary before I got into this, thinking I'd be able to keep my business going. And unfortunately, to be a full-time mayor and work the 60 to 70 hours a week that you need to work to do the job right, you can't run another business as well without people. And I just didn't have the right people in place to be able to do that. And so the income issue became, more significant in January. My future plans, my personal life, the direction I want to take it. I can't do the things I want to do, and as well as being mayor. And so I had considered taking another opportunity back then, but I didn't. And, I wanted to stick it out. But the reality is it's just professionally, spiritually, everything else in my life is pointing me in a different direction right now.
He is Central's Mayor Wade Evans. You've always been generous with your time and forthcoming with information coming out of Central. Let me know, as soon as what the next chapter is going to look like. We'd love to have you on here to talk about it. In the meanwhile, greatly appreciate how open you were about this process on social media. And of course, all the best. We really appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, Brian, look, I know they got a afternoon show we may need to do, so you just never know what my future holds, brother.
Well, you know where you're calling for that one, and you've got my support 1,000%.
All right, brother. Thanks, man.
Talk to you soon. He is Central's Mayor Wade Evans. Boy, from his mouth to God's ears, let's hope. I mean, it's a lot. Could be a good thing. He just threw that out there. I didn't say that. He threw that out there. We're at 650 at Talk 107.3 FM. Ran long, so let's hit your money now. We got Moral Dilemma Monday, an abbreviated version, coming up next on Talk 107.3. If Wade Evans wanted to do a 4 to 6 show here, I like Eric Erickson, but if anytime I have the chance to go local, I'm going local. I don't make the decision, but oh, and good morning, Christy. Got to start off with a busy morning. I didn't tell my wife hello. Good morning, sweetheart.
Lord, coming in hot with that interview.
Telling you.
There's so many sound bites I can pull from that. Tony Spell.
Obviously, Tony Spell is first. I know it's more important that he's stepping down.
I know, but you know that Facebook is wrong.
I know.
So we're gonna give him another one.
No.
Nowhere in the Bible does it say you go beat that ass.
It's basically what he
should have
said.
that. I would have wheezed if he said that.
Oh, anything good going on in the chat? It's a lot of Alan this morning.
Alan, you too much.
I'm telling you, man.
Tim's in the chat.
They will see. My problem is when I go back and check the chat. Oh, I see Christy. Good morning, sweetheart. When I go back and check the chat like 20 minutes later, I have no idea what the comment. Like the comment probably made sense in real time, but like I have no idea why I'm a pirate or can't be a pirate.
That makes me laugh. I know, and Alan's like, "R, okay." I don't. Mercy.
Glad I didn't sleep through church Saturday evening. We went to mass on Saturday instead of Sunday. I was coming close to nodding off because, you know, when you have a cocktail with a bunch of shots in it at lunch and then you sit through another basketball game.
So y'all went Saturday night.
Yeah.
Damn, so you was kind of. Well, I would take it off.
I wasn't drunk at all. I was just drowsy. But I was awake for the first reading, that's for sure.
Troy, I do miss a local afternoon show. Maybe start with a 1 day a week like the fishing shows I never listened to.
I love Kevin, but you tell me where I'm going fishing at 6 p.m. on a Thursday. It would be better if he was setting the table for the weekend, not telling me what's going to happen. No, we're kicking us out? Bullshit.
But like, you know what I'm saying. Never kick us out, but it's irrelevant to have it 7 o'clock on a Thursday.
6:55, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way in about 4.5 minutes from right now. We're going to have Ty Benefield, LSU's Ty Benefield, on with us, along with Our Lady of the Lake for Medical Monday, Mary Beth Derrickson from LABI at 7:35. Right now, though, time for Moral Dilemma Monday. All right, Breland. When we left this conversation, this was a trending story last week, as there's a poll that goes out basically every year asking if it's appropriate for men to wear shorts in the office. And now we're up to 45% of people say it is appropriate. And I got to tell you, after much deliberation, I don't think I would ever wear shorts in the office. I mean, not unless I'm like only popping in on my way to the gym.
Right.
Or I've got like an appearance out at a ball game or something. Like if we get Rougarou night, we didn't do Rougarou night this year. If we got Rougarou night, I'm wearing shorts before going out there. Okay, fine. I understand that just fine. And like if you're a part-timer up here and you're in for long enough to just produce a show and get out, fine. But like if you're in a corporate setting, if you're in an office setting, shorts might be a little bit too much. Like a little bit too little, I should say. Like you're dialing back the casual a bit overboard. But here's the thing, though. This broadens out. Because if I'm to say that wearing shorts is not apropos, but if I have an employee who wants to be a cross-dresser or claims to be of a different gender, now what can I say when they want to wear a skirt to work? The same biologically male employee who can't wear shorts can now wear a mini skirt.
Ooh, yeah. You bring up a good point there.
So what happens there?
So I'm with you. If you're meeting clients all day, every day, you got to wear either slacks or pants. But if you sit behind a computer all day, I don't care where you work, I would say it's okay for a man. I'm talking, you don't meet with clients at all. You just sit behind a desk, you get up, go to the restroom, go to lunch.
And the argument behind wearing shorts is it's hot outside. Okay.
Right.
All right. Well, flip that around. If you're sitting behind a computer all day, you're not outside. You're in air-conditioned space. So why do you need them then?
See, some of the debates I was reading online says, too, that debates everything from dress code to double standards to leg hair. So people are saying if you have a leg hair. So I'm like, okay, well, if you're a man and you shave your leg hair, can you wear shorts then?
I would shave my legs if I could wear shorts. Not really. Not really. I given the option, I would be completely hairless from head to toe. It's gross.
It is.
It's just gross. But I don't see why that's the determining factor.
Right.
To me, that makes it, if you shave your leg, that makes it even more sexist. Because now you're telling women what their hygiene needs to be as well.
Right.
Conversely, you're telling women what their hygiene needs to be. Right. Now, and the easy answer to this question, who determines what is appropriate and not, is management.
HR.
Management determines that. What? No, not HR. HR enforces it. Management determines it. Yeah. HR enforces it. But here's the thing, though. We live in a state where you can be fired for anything. You'd be fired without cause. We're an at-will work state. Okay? So, like, at any time, zip, gone. But if you're in a state where you have built-in protections and whatnot, can you imagine if a bunch of men just decided we're all wearing sundresses to work today? The ACLU, like every organization out there would be behind them to stand behind them.
I know.
And now you're talking about a legal battle in a front office that they're just not willing to fight. I mean, we're not talking about the Fresh Prince wearing his blazer inside out.
But it's true. But it's true.
We're going to keep the conversation going over on Facebook Live, on air. We got news coming your way right now. Deborah says, I was one of the folks that resisted Casual Friday many years ago. It's an attitude thing. Dress like a professional when you are at work. Dress like a barbecue when you are going to the cookout. All right. So I completely agree with her, but it's arbitrary at that point. We all have our different definition of what is professional. I'm in a polo right now. does that make me less professional than someone who's sitting here wearing a tie? Or does the person wearing a tie appear more stuffy?
Yes.
And less willing to listen, more willing to dictate their command to you rather and forget about radio. Think about I think about bankers a lot, because when I'm trusting someone with my money, I need to know 1,000% that my money's gonna be taken care of. So what goes into that? Well, I can tell you flip-flops don't. But if they're in a polo and khakis, I'm cool. Like, that's where my dividing line is. That's where I come down. I'm guessing Deborah would like it a little more buttoned up. Maybe a button up.
Yeah.
Pun. But like, we all have our line at that point where what is too far.
What's casual? What's work appropriate?
Right.
Where's that line? Everybody has that different opinion.
Yeah, I don't know how to make the call one way or the other that says that's too much. And yeah, dudes showing off their legs. And look, I don't know how to say this without like sounding completely inappropriate. I got awesome legs. Seriously, my calves are like, no, I know I'm fat up top, but my calves are phenomenal.
Get them, Brian.
Christy, sound off. Get my back. She's not going to type in.
No.
I got great calves.
Okay, and here's the question, Brian. A man who wears real nice shorts to work, he has a polo on top. What shoes does he wear? Flip-flops?
See, that's the thing, though. You can't, there's only so many shoes.
You're not going to wear dress shoes.
Topsiders?
Yeah.
I mean, remember the topsiders, no socks in the 80s? Renee says it depends on where you work. Yeah. But why? Why? Like, we had to wear khaki. When I worked at Blockbuster Video, we had to wear khaki pants. I mean, if I'm checking someone into a hotel, does it matter if I'm in a polo or if I'm in a tie? Deborah said, I'm cool with polo and khakis now. You won't see me dressed like that, though. I want my clients to know I'm serious about them and their business. Right back. See, she went right back to it completely. So, all right. Let me flip the conversation around then, Deborah. What business would you not go to if their representatives were in that? Like, you would go to them, but you believe that others would judge you based off of it. Byron, I've had to make dress codes decisions for offices. I lean towards being a little more strict when having to deal with the public, but I'm pretty easy. I care more about men wearing flip-flops and having toenails that look like Fritos. I know. Look, so he's not, honestly, he's not being funny right there. That's like a legit problem. I know. Hygiene is a big part of it.
Now, I'm not being like that, Brian, but men don't have hygiene when it comes to cutting toenails. They just don't.
I do my best. I worked at a nursery hardware store. I was a bookkeeper and worked in the office. We all wore shorts. Okay, but like, isn't there an implication there to go that way? I don't know. I love it. I love the whole conversation. Everybody's putting in the right post. Everybody's got the right answers. And like the opening says, there's no right answers or wrong answers. Everybody's starting great conversation here. By the way, Paul, who's bucking for associate producer status, said, did you hear about the high school where boys weren't allowed to wear shorts, so they all wore dresses to school, and it was not a violation of the dress code? What? Because the dress code can't determine boys or girls, because that's sexist. So, yep. This is Brian.
Hey, Brian, this is Katie with FMOL.
Yes, hey.
Hey, I'm actually here, and Ernico told me to give you a call and let you know that I was here so I can get in.
Okay, I'm coming back on the air right now. Do you see how it looks like there's two buildings? Okay, go in between them. You see those glasses and the glass going all the way up to the door there?
Yes.
Okay, I'm opening that door as we speak.
Perfect. Green light.
Yep. And we're on the second floor. Come on up to the second floor.
Second floor, you got it.
Thanks. $7:05. Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now. Brian here with you, Bree Lynn producing. Wow, unbelievable conversation going on in the chat this morning. The glorified crew is at it when we had Moral Dilemma Monday. We were a little bit brief on time. We intentionally ran along with Mayor Wade Evans because, my goodness, that man opened up his heart.
I know.
So keep it going over in the chat. The conversation started with a poll that said 45% of people think it's okay for men to wear shorts to work. In the office. Let's be clear, in the office. But who draws the line? And by the way, the stricter you draw the line, the more you're going to draw people out to skirt it. No pun intended down that. That pun was not intended. But it's still true. It's like the tougher you try to make the rules, the more people are going to try to worm their way around it. So keep it going over the chat. It was awesome stuff during the break. Thank y'all to everybody who was participating on that front. All right, we got a busy hour this hour. Medical Monday coming your way in our next segment. We've talked back to school on the grade school level. Let's talk back to school on the college level. That's coming up in our next segment. After that, Mary Beth Derrickson from the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry is going to join us. We are talking about workforce next. All that's coming up this hour, but we start you off with top stories and trending. Louisiana Department of Education, in partnership with Dream Teachers, honored the state's most outstanding educators over the weekend at the 20th annual Cecil J. Picard Educator Excellence Awards Gala at the National World War II Museum down in New Orleans. From right here in Baton Rouge, Alicia Butler with the state's special school district, School for the Visually Impaired, won Teacher of the Year. Lauren Williams-Renthrop from St. Mary Parish is the Principal of the Year. As you heard him describe in the last hour, Central Mayor Wade Evans announced he will not seek another term. In his statement on social media, Evans also noted that public service with small-town politics has become increasingly difficult. I don't feel like I'm putting words in his mouth when he basically said Central's going to Central. The search for the remains of a 15-year-old boy at North Baton Rouge landfill is now entering its third week. Jadarius Miniweather was reported missing on June 6th. His remains have yet to be found. Investigators believe that 51-year-old Maurice Parms put Meriwether's body in a dumpster where it was picked up on a collection route and taken to the North Landfill in Zachary. This is going to be an incredibly grueling process as it continues to wear on. Both the mayor and the chief of police have said on this show they did not expect it to happen overnight. They laid out, 70-plus days possibly that it could go on to cover the whole thing from start to finish. And it is worth noting, and this is the gruesome part, they're not expecting to find a full body. A 16-year-old is dead. One person is injured after a shooting on Oswego Street Friday night. According to BRPD, officers responded to the area at around 8 p.m., found a male lying near a vehicle with gunshot wounds. A second victim on Wyandotte Street, 16-year-old Braylon Anderson, died from his injuries. The second victim is expected to survive. We'll hear more about this one coming up at 8:05, or 8:06, I should say. Mayor President Sid Edwards and Mayor Pro Tem Brandon Knoll put out a joint statement over the weekend after last week's communication snafu when the mayor spoke out against the city parish attorney joining a lawsuit against St. George. The long and the short of what they were proposing is, when appropriate, an item is to be placed on the Metro Council's agenda before the city parish initiates or responds to legal action.
Well, a federal appeals court this weekend rejected the Trump administration's attempt to implement an executive order restricting mail-in voting ahead of the midterm elections. This is,
it's so tough because I don't like mail-in voting by and large. I'm probably not as strict as a lot of people on it, but like, I don't like it being wide open for everybody. I mean, how much does it take to get you off your ass to go vote?
Right.
It's just, we make voting so simple.
You have
all
early
you do
voting.
Is show up, show an ID.
Yeah.
It is not just your right, but it is also your privilege. It is also your duty. The freedoms that we have, it is very minimal that we have to protect them, ensure them, and grow them. And voting is the principle of all of it. So if you can't be bothered to drive a couple of blocks, walk a couple of blocks, whatever, take the damn bus. If you can't be bothered to do that, then do you even value that vote? Now, the converse part of this is we don't have federal elections.
Yeah.
We have state elections for federal offices. And that needs to remain sacrosanct as well. That's part of what we value.
Yep.
So it's one of those ones where I disagree in spirit, but agree in principle.
The Trump administration is lifting its ban on imports of cattle from Mexico in attempt to lower the cost of beef at the consumer level. Let's go.
Let's go. I'm here for it. Absolutely. Anything you could do to lower the cost of, because when you lower the cost of beef, you're going to lower the cost of everything else out there as well.
Yep.
Chicken should go down a little bit. Pork should go down a little bit.
Yep.
Fish, maybe not fish, but yeah, turkey as well. So this is a good America first type of move.
Love it.
Yep.
Sam's Club stepped in it online right here in the Bayou State. Apparently, they were selling Louisiana shirts where the landscape included a bayou, numerous trees, and a backdrop of snow-covered mountains, because we have so many of those here.
Yeah. I told you I was going to show you the picture, and I didn't.
No, I want to see
So
a
this
picture
was
of
over in
t-shirt.
Lafayette. I grabbed it from a Lafayette radio station, 107.9. They had it
love
over on
them.
their website. So if you wanted to go look it up, 107.9 is hot. I don't mind promoting somebody else's website when they've got
Love
good
them.
content. Yeah. So it looks like a bayou. It could just as easily be a brook. It looks like cypress trees. It could just as easily be pine, right? And then in the backdrop, you've got ginormous mountains.
I'm envisioning that show on Netflix, and I said this last hour, Virgin River, with the creek in the back and the
Sure.
trees and the
That
mountains
works.
and the
That works. It's a very, very apt comparison.
yes.
So,
But
no
here-
mountains behind in Louisiana.
Right.
No. And I'm not talking about like Monkey Hill down in New Orleans or what's the biggest mountain in Louisiana? Is it Mount Rainier?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh man. Largest mountain. I think it's the only mountain in Louisiana.
And it's not
Driscoll. What's that?
Where's that?
It's Driscoll Mountain. It's in Benefield Parish. Where did I get Rainier from? That's in Washington. That's bro.
Mount
again,
Rainier.
too much basketball and bushwhackers over the weekend. All right, we got Medical Monday coming up next. Good morning. Sorry about getting y'all in there. Our office doesn't open until 8, so I get the remote access to buzz everybody in. So come on in. I believe we got Ty already on the hotline. Are my questions directed to an individual?
All right. So
And do you need headphones to hear Ty? Yes.
yes. So I want to say, did Erin send you over the?
She
Question.
did, but it's just general questions.
Okay, I think I put in 2 down the end that were more.
Jesus. What deaf person was on that one?
They're more geared toward an athlete. The last 2, I want to say,
Okay.
are on there. But
Well, then I'll start off being more conversational with
Okay.
Ty, and then we'll move over to Dr. Baumgartner.
Okay.
Good morning. Welcome in here. How are you this morning? All right. Yeah, have a seat. You're up. And visually, we're always on Facebook Live, but we're not going to be audible until the segment starts. $7:14 to Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Before we get you to Medical Monday, let me remind you about Landmark Bank. LandmarkBankLA.com is the website. A community bank since 1897 and remain a community bank to this day. If you want to learn more about their locations, where to find them, about their hours, about their services, about everything they do over at Landmark Bank, visit LandmarkBankLA.com. When you get a community bank, you get a banker, someone that you see in line at the grocery store, someone you might see over at the doctor's office, whatever the case might be, someone who's in your community and can have a better grasp and understanding. When you sit down with them, talk it out about where you want to be, not just where you are, but where you want to be. They can help you get there when it comes to savings, investing, borrowing, whatever the case might be. Visit landmarkbankla.com. All right, it is time for Medical Monday. Let's hit it. As students get ready to head back to college, there's a lot to think about beyond just classes and move-in day. From annual checkups and sports physicals to stress, sleep, nutrition, and knowing where to go for care, a healthy start can make a big difference during the semester. Today, Dr. Matthew Baumgartner with FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake, joins us to talk about how college students can start the school year strong and what families should know as they prepare for the transition back to campus. Also with us over on the hotline, we've got Ty Benefield from LSU. Good morning, Dr. Baumgartner. How are you?
Doing well. How are y'all?
Doing very well. Ty, how you doing this morning?
Doing great.
Glad to have you on here. We're going to kind of ping pong back and forth between the two of y'all to get the doctor's perspective and, well, honestly, a unique perspective coming in from the football team as well. But we'll start with you, Dr. Baumgartner. As families get ready for a new school year, what are some of the most important health check-ins parents should make before their kid heads back to class?
Sure. Great question. So one of the things that's really, great to do when you have a little bit of time before the school year really gets going and life gets busy, is checking in with either your primary care provider or like your pediatrician. Make sure that all of your vaccination, wellnesses, labs, anything that you needed to have done, get checked off of that list. So that way we know we're starting off on the right foot.
How important is this for parents as you are, as your kids get older, you let go more and more, hand off more responsibility to them. How important is the parent's role to make sure, hey, check in on this, because it can easily get overlooked?
Absolutely. Critical. Even when kids get to college and stuff like that, they may not know the right questions to ask. They may not know what their family health histories are, what things they've not had done. And so the parent's role in that is very important, because it allows us to make sure that we have all the information we need to make sure that everything that they need is done.
Now, sports physicals are a big part of back to school for many families. I know as you get to college, they're, athletes like Ty don't come around very often, but
Absolutely.
You do have intramurals, you do have club sports, you do have the rec center, whatever the case might be. So why are physicals still so important, and what should parents make sure it gets addressed during that visit?
Yeah, another great question. This is one of the things I always emphasize to any of our learning residents, doctors, med students who might be doing physicals with us. Once kids get to a certain age, they're not required to necessarily see the doctor every year. So if they're doing a sports physical, this may be the only time of the year that they're actually going to see a healthcare provider. Mm-hmm. And so it's a great opportunity for them to have their vision, their weight, their height, their blood pressure checked. And so, it's a great point of contact that, hey, we can address some things that may have gotten overlooked, because this may be the one opportunity for them to ask the right questions, get checked, have a physical exam.
Comparatively speaking, Ty, how well taken care of are you on this front? I mean, you've got to get every exam going through before you get out there on the field.
No, absolutely. I mean, we're very well taken care of. Got to make sure we get everything done, blood tests, physicals, and I'm honestly super thankful for it, though. Just for all the information that our healthcare people really take, and it helps us to be the best athletes, because they know what our body needs, and can cater to all that. So sure, it is a little tedious to get all those things done at once, but it's all for a great purpose, and it's going to help this team be the best team we can be this year.
Absolutely. We're talking with Dr. Matthew Baumgartner from FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake. We've also got Ty Benefield from LSU football in with us for this Medical Monday. Doc, you work closely with a number of LSU students and student athletes. What are some of the more common health and wellness concerns that you see as students adjust to the new school year?
Sure. So one of the common things that a lot of kids might need is, like, for instance, if they're staying on dorms or on campus, they may have forgotten that they need certain vaccinations, including meningitis, done. And so that's one of the things that we offer to make sure they can get an easy transition into the school year. Another big thing that we see is a lot of kids may come in on different medications. They may be from out of state or out of country. And so they may need certain labs or things checked to make sure that the medications are are working well, not causing any side effects. And so all those things are really important to have and take care of, to make sure that doesn't distract or interfere with their studies or athletics.
Moving over to Ty real quick. Ty, you're coming in from Boise State in California. Before that, how much has hydration been pounded down your throat since as your camp starts on the 30th or 31st?
I mean, camp really officially starts on the 4th, but as you know, this week is like a kind of like a precursor. So we're handling it like camp right now. But I mean, hydration is the most important thing. And I've learned the hard way, so, being out here in this humidity and this different heat, being able to, I drink about a gallon of water a day,
awesome.
And that is instrumental to my success in practices and will be instrumental to my success this year. So, just hydration and really putting those electrolytes in your body and just even resting. Those are the most important things, but hydration is that key factor.
What else has been, emphasized along the way?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, eating right as well. That's something that a lot of people sleep on. And I'm so thankful to be at LSU and with the food that we get, at the Performance and Nutrition Center. That's like, those people there work their tails off to provide us with the best food. And if you're eating right and practicing those habits daily, eating fast food once in a while is okay. But if you're eating right all the time, like, you can only see that your performance on that field is just, you see yourself feeling better while you're playing better. So that's something that's definitely slept on, but it's something that's super important.
Dr. Matthew Baumgartner, Ty Benefield on with us for this Medical Monday. Dr. Baumgartner, through the Championship Health Partnership, FMOL Health and LSU are working closely together. How does that partnership help support both students and student athletes?
So on both fronts, for the students, FMOL helps sponsor and staff the Student Health Center, so they help with the support there. Student Health Center, any students, regardless if they're undergrad or graduate, can go to the Student Health Center, and they have pretty good comprehensive care. They have a lot of the not only primary care, but a lot of subspecialties like dermatology, psychology, psychiatry there. And then on the student athlete side, we have a team of doctors, surgeons, specialists, nurses, athletic trainers that try to take care of the student athlete from the moment they get there. As Ty kind of referenced, one of the things that we do is we do a very large comprehensive exam on any incoming student athlete, from their health history to any surgeries, medications they might be on, and they get seen by a litany of specialists, from primary care, orthopedics. They take mental health screeners, everything that we can try to do to make sure that we're taking care of them as best possible.
Ty, I kind of want to flip the question on its side a little bit for you, because the student athlete's perspective is going to be a little bit different. As camp is almost here, as you're ready to hit the field, everyone knows you don't want to miss a rep. So how important is it to take advantage of the services that Our Lady of the Lake are offering to make sure you're being proactive as opposed to missing out by being reactive?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, it's super important. Using all the resources that you have at your fingertips is just the most important thing, because, being at this super high level of, college football at LSU, you have every resource, and the lake is always there for us. And the resources that they provide, it's abundant. I mean, they have so many resources. So being able to use those daily, maybe not even daily, but adding it to your routine and stuff, and just trusting those people, because they're great people. I mean, it's the most important thing, and it's going to be huge for this season, because it's going to be a long season, that's for sure. But and I mean that in the best way, but definitely for camp, staying ahead of things is the most important thing.
Well, it better be a long season, minimum 15 games, Ty. That's what we're looking at.
Absolutely.
That's with a bye. Doc, I want to go back to you real quick. For parents sending a student of college, what should they know about healthcare resources available to them on or near campus?
Absolutely. So in addition to the student health center that I talked about, my clinic is the FMOL Family and Sports Medicine Clinic, is right off of Nicholson. It's right next to Torchy's and Starbucks. Me and my partner, Dr. Shaw, are there Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can schedule appointments. We will take walk-ins as well. We do any urgent care or injury 7 and up. And then for wellness and general primary care, we do 16 and up.
Right there in front of Mathern's.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Mathern's great
Yes,
sponsorship.
oh, it's great.
The Friday hot wing bar.
Oh, their lunches are insane. I
Yes,
tell people all the
see?
time, you're sleeping on Mathern's if you're not going there for lunch.
God, I love that. Back to you on this one, Ty. And I want to talk about from a perspective of someone who has traveled a little bit, seen things at other universities and whatnot. Let's take this back to your parents and what their level of trust has to be to send you down here and put you in the hands of FMOL Health and Our Lady of the Lake.
Oh, 100%. I mean, my family, putting all faith into, the great people of, the lake. I mean, it's definitely, a great decision, but there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, those are the people that are going to be handling if anything goes wrong, and, regardless, seeing me every day and stuff like that. But, I mean, the trust is the biggest thing. And, you have to be able to put your faith in the people who want the best for you. And that's exactly what the people of Our Lady of the Lake, want for not only me, but for, the team and the people that come into their clinics, day in and day out.
The when it comes to health and wellness, we've seen such an evolution, Doc, over the years. The term whole person wellness, what does that really mean for students balancing academics, athletic, sleep, stress, nutrition, probably a part-time job as well? What does that look like when you look at everything a college student is taking on?
Sure. And you can't build a house without a good foundation. So if you're trying to excel at one thing, but you're sacrificing your mental or physical health for that, it's that candle's going to burn out too fast. I tell people all the time, the brain is an organ just like any other. If you're not giving it what it needs, exercise, sleep, nutrition, it's not going to function at its best. You're not going to have the grades, the scores, the happiness that you could have if you're taking care of your whole body.
All right, Ty Benefield, your take on that. I mean, because you're in it, man. You're in the thick of it right now, or at least you're about to be. You've got all the things coming at you all at once, not to mention all the outside obligations that the modern college football player has to take on as well. How do you balance it?
For sure. I mean, definitely creating a routine for myself and sticking by that, but always remembering at the end of the day, like, rest is the most important thing. So getting to bed at an early enough time and getting everything done. I mean, and also throughout the day, just, surrounding myself with hydration and remembering, that I need to eat and stuff like that. So, but it all comes down to that rest, because that's the most important thing. I mean, we do a lot of things that exert a lot of energy, and, getting that back is the most important thing.
All right, so I'm going to separate this last question between the two of y'all. We got Dr. Matthew Baumgardner. We got Ty Benefield on with us. My last question for you, Dr. Baumgardner, is for families listening today who might want to get ahead of the back-to-school care or schedule a sports physical along the way. Where do they need to go to make an appointment, and how convenient is it for your clinics? We know how convenient it is based on the location, but where do they need to go to get the ball rolling?
So they can go on to Our Lady of the Lake's website. They have an easy patient portal that you can use to schedule online appointments. If you also want to not have to go online, you can call the Lake's main number. It connects to all the clinics in the call center. They can schedule you with whatever provider or location that's most convenient to you right there on the phone. Their number is 225-765-5500.
Ty, last one for you. We're going to make this one a little bit more about football. Once camp gets here, what are you most looking forward to? And as you look at LSU's schedule, do you have one opponent in mind that you're pinpointing as your, going to be the game you have your eyes on?
For sure. I mean, I'm super excited to just, play at a high level and be the best, person that I can be for my team. And, for my coaches, they put in a lot of work, and I can't wait to, just show the world this new LSU team. these guys put in so much work, and even the coaching staff, and it's going to be just amazing. But as for an opponent, not really, to be honest with you. I'm excited to just go out there and take it to everybody. It's due, and so I'm super excited again, just to be the best, the best I can be for my team and my coaches. So stay tuned, and we can't wait to prove it and show the nation.
He is Ty Benefield, LSU safety Ty Benefield. Of course, Dr. Matthew Bumgardner as well. Thank y'all both so much.
Thank you for being here.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, and good luck to the Tigers this year. Here's news. Incorrect. The right answer was Ole Miss. 765 what? I want to make sure she has it in the when we post this online.
I'm sorry. 225-765-5500.
Awesome.
225-765-5500.
And again, backwards.
Were those the right questions on?
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. Ernie, there was another one, but she sent you that one.
This one came in Friday.
Yes.
So
yeah.
I did my best to kind of adapt it. I realized it was.
Yeah. No, you did.
All right.
You did right.
And I didn't. Are we
Yes.
off?
You give us 1 minute.
Are we- the Department of Defense. Let me bang out a live read before we get back in. I'm still like over on Friday. So, yeah, I owed 3 on Friday. Already looking forward to Friday, y'all. I know it's only Monday, but coming up on Friday, the Louisiana Beef Industry Council brings you Foodie Friday, all grilling season long. This week got a special guest. This week got a special announcement. This week got I'll go ahead and tell you right now. I'm not going to tell you what the big announcement is, although a lot of folks already know it if you follow them on social media. Mammy's Meat Pies. This is Natchitoches Cane River meat pies. Unlike anything you've ever tried before in your life, they are fantastic. They are phenomenal. My brother Thomas Rock is going to be in the house to talk about them and what they're doing, what they're up to. We'll go through the whole origin story. It's fantastic. Thomas is a great communicator. He's a lot of fun conversationally as well. And we're going to have some meat pies up in here. We'll let you know where to order them, how to get a hold of them. Look, I buy them by the dozen and just bring them on home. Throw them in the freezer. Let the kids get at them all summer long. It's been great. Like, let the kids get at them whenever they need a quick lunch. Grab one out the freezer, throw it in the air fryer. Boom, boom, boom. Easy peasy. So, meat pie, another great way to celebrate beef all year round. Louisiana Beef Industry Council brings you Foodie Friday all grilling season long. Learn more at beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Right now, we're going to pivot because it is time to talk about Workforce Next. Driving talent solutions for industry growth. We got Mary Beth Derrickson from the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry on the hotline right now. Mary Beth, welcome back. How are you?
Good morning, Brian. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing very well as well. Workforce Next. Tell me about it.
Yes, we're very excited. The LABI Foundation is partnering with the Louisiana Department of Education and ABC Pelican to put on a full-day workforce summit for employers, for school systems, everyone in the work-based learning ecosystem to really talk about solutions with work-based learning. If a company is interested in starting their own internship program, we want to be a resource for them. And we're really excited to have ABC Pelican and the Department of Education on as well. Both of these groups are doing phenomenal work in the K through 12 space, but also with industry partners from across the state in getting our best and brightest ready to fill the incoming jobs that are coming to Louisiana. So we're really excited. It's going to be a full day summit. And by full day, we really mean 8:30 to 4:30 in the afternoon. And then we want everyone, all the attendees, to stay for a happy hour. And Brian, obviously you are more than welcome to join us as well.
I greatly appreciate that invite. I do. It's because it sounds like an amazing day from start to finish. Let's talk about this from a little bit of like the different perspectives along the way. Because when you talk about teaching workforce, that means different things at different levels. So give me the breakdown.
Sure. So if it's okay, Brian, for your audience, I'll kind of go through the agenda if that's okay.
That's wonderful. Yes.
Because we have a pretty stacked lineup. Like I said, this kind of touches every avenue of the work-based learning system. So to kick it off, we're really excited to have DOE Chief of Staff Ken Bradford and Dr. Ernie Singleton joining us to kick us off, really to talk about all the progress we've made in the K through 12 space, but also how it's time to pivot to work-based learning and why that's so critical for school systems specifically, and also why it's critical for businesses to engage with school systems. Obviously, we know that every corner of Louisiana is very different, and so it's important to really teach industry how to engage with their local school system. Obviously, Lake Charles is not going to have the same workforce needs that Monroe or Ruston does, and so we really want to kind of teach a how-to on how to pair with your local school system. We also have Youth Force NOLA, who is a fuel partner of ours. They're coming to present on the really get into the weeds as far as teaching work-based learning from the school perspective. We also have East Baton Rouge Parish Schools represented to talk more about to talk specifically about East Baton Rouge, but how you can partner with schools. And then we have Brian Davis from Louisiana Works coming to talk about, obviously, Brian, this last session, and we've talked about it on your show, was a workforce themed legislative session. And so with all these bills coming down the pike, everything happening now, what does that look like? How can industry be affected by all these great bills that were passed in the session? So Brian is coming to give an update. But what I'm most excited about, Brian, we have 3 panels where we have industry partners, local chambers, and agency partners all coming together for 3 separate panels. The first one is our Lunch and Learn, sponsored by ABC Pelican. And so we have LABI members, Meta, Sparkhound, Baton Rouge General, and ABC all on the panel to talk about. They are doing this work. They have started their own internship program. They are immersed in work-based learning. What are some models that other employers can learn best practices from them?
Okay.
Then we have our agency panel. We have Louisiana Works, LED, and President Richard Nelson from LCTC joining us to talk about what their agencies are doing to aid in this work. And then lastly, we have, as far as the panels go, we have chambers driving workforce success. So we have 3 local chambers from every corner of the state. And Brian, I think we talk about this a lot, but LABI serves as the State Chamber of Commerce, but our local chambers are the ones that are really, really in the weeds with this work. They're partnering with their school systems. They're engaging with employers and making this partnership happen. And they know their communities best. And so we're really excited about that panel as well. So overall, just a really great opportunity. If you're listening to this and you're a school leader, a CTE leader, an employer, anyone that touches work-based learning, we want to have you next Tuesday, August 4th, at the LABI building to learn more. And really, it's a great networking opportunity. We're going to have people from all across the state that are doing this work and that you can possibly partner with. So open invitation to all, and you can register at www.labi.org.
You skipped past the closing remarks there. Kind of a headliner.
I know, you're right. I cannot forget our dear friend, Dr. Kay Brumley. He is going to close out the day. And hopefully do a little victory lap, because we know that we are making tremendous strides in K through 12 education, Brian. I mean, we've gone from 49th to 32nd, but this past year we are now number 1. Louisiana leads the nation in literacy growth, and we are number 2 in numeracy growth. I mean, just incredible numbers. So hoping he can do a little, little victory lap for us on Tuesday.
Yes, we'll get 2 victory laps from him because he'll be on this show that morning. So definitely.
Oh, perfect. He'll be able to tee up his speech then.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely tee it up a little bit. We'll try not to spoil too much of it because I'll have a ton to cover with him just on back to school issues to be sure. But yes, we'll set the table for that as well. Mary Beth Derrickson from the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry is our guest. I want to talk about this most recent legislative session because workforce was the biggest topic that moved the needle, right? It was from start to finish of the session, nothing progressed further than workforce issues or workforce initiatives along the way. How do you capitalize on what got done at the Capitol to make sure it's pushed to, from the building downtown to Main Street all throughout the state?
That's a great point, Brian. I think we are in a time where everyone is on the same page. And obviously, each agency and each industry group and all the trade associations, we all have our own priorities. But the good thing is we're all working together. And so coming off of a very successful legislative session, we have leaders in place that are ready to make these bills, these bills are now law and really execute these policies. Dr. Susie Showen, or Secretary Susie Showen, she has done tremendous work in this vein. Obviously, in 2025, we had the one-door bills that passed, but this session, we had some tremendous bills to consolidate a lot of the workforce development responsibilities to LA Works. And, Brian, we always say I think we've hit the $200 billion mark of investment projects in the pipeline coming to Louisiana. So
in the pipeline,
in the pipeline. Yeah. And so it's like, we need to have a workforce ready to fill those jobs. And I want to give a quick shout out to Representative Ken Brass. He had a slew of bills to really bring industry into the community and technical college system, as well as some dual enrollment legislation that's really going to streamline that process for parents and really open up options for Louisiana students as they look to get college credit before whatever they decide to do after high school. So he's doing tremendous work. And then Representative Stephanie Baralt also has some key legislation to create the Bayou Works program. So we're really excited about, coming off of a very successful session. And we're, as school starts, as the year continues on, we're excited to see where those policies lead. But I think bottom line, Brian, we're all on the same page and we're rowing in the right direction.
No, absolutely. And the more we can continue to capitalize on momentum, because the worst thing we could do right now is say we've done enough. Like, that's because it's just not the case. But at the same time, though, it's, it is difficult to keep everybody focused on the same thing continually.
Absolutely. And I'm going to steal his line, but he always says we're pleased but not satisfied. There's so much work left to be done. When you look at the nation and where Louisiana ranks, we're making tremendous strides in education, but we have so much opportunity for growth, so many ways to get folks on the path to prosperity, and lots of job opportunities coming. And we always talk about the brain drain, and our friends are going to Texas and North Carolina and other places, and we have this opportunity and we don't want to blow it. So we're really excited, especially with all the progress we made in the legislative session. And just to bring it back to Workforce Next, I think that's why this work is so critical and why we hope we have as many folks that want to learn more about this work next Tuesday, because LABI wants to be a resource for employers, for school systems, for building that partnership, because we all want to make sure Louisiana students stay in Louisiana and we keep our best and brightest here.
We got less than 2 minutes to go with Mary Beth Derrickson from the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry as we talk about Workforce Next. Mary Beth, in these last 2 minutes, I want to cover how, Dr. Brumley can brag about education being on the right path starting in third grade. We're like seeing number one and we're past third grade now. But if you look at test scores in third grade, they're going to grow themselves into their roles, within education, within the workforce as well. But if you're in third grade when the test comes out, you're a good 14 years away from entering the workforce. We've done a decent job of filling those gaps in between, be it LCTCS or any other, application of education to workforce along the way. That's why I started the conversation by saying workforce education can mean so many different things on so many different levels. Talk to me in this last minute or so about filling those gaps.
Absolutely. Well, I think a huge part of that, of workforce exploration, is getting our youngest learners open to different, paths that are available to them in the state of Louisiana. I know that when I was in school, it was either doctor, lawyer, astronaut, all of these different jobs, which are great, but we also have so many different opportunities across the state. And so Representative Kim Carver had a bill, to your point, Brian, to add a career exploration activity for those kids K through 5, because truly it's never too early to get students exposed to different career opportunities. So we want to start as early as possible. I know that might seem crazy to some people, but we want to start as early as possible. And our school systems and our teachers, they are the reason that we are growing so much. And so I just want to give them a shout out. So we're excited to see over the course of these next few school years, how we continue to grow and thrive.
She's Mary Beth Derrickson from LABI. Workforce Next is coming up next Tuesday. Mary Beth, always appreciate the time.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you. Here's your money now. Unbelievable stuff. I don't know how long ago Jennifer said good morning, but good morning, Jennifer. All right. Deborah says I paid $95 to fill up my tank yesterday at $4.29 a gallon at Costco, hoping it comes down soon. Oh, it has to if Republicans want to hang on to a majority. And there needs to be a redirect. Look, I know James Carville has lost his mind and he makes no sense when he talks now, but many, many moons ago when he said it's the economy, stupid, he was right. He was right back then, and it's still true today. It's the economy. If I step into the voting booth, if I'm not dialed into politics on a day-to-day basis, and I step into the voting booth and I have one party promising me free-ish along the way, and the other party saying, I can't really worry about you right now as an American. We have to make sure Iran's not nuclear. That's a misprioritization right there. So it has to get fixed. It will get fixed. I don't know how when I don't know when I say I don't know how, I mean, I don't know in what form it's going to take, but I have belief that it will get fixed. Get ready. What the? 7:55 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We got this day in history coming up in just a quick second. Do need to remind you about over at ExxonMobil. Been in our backyard for 115 years in the oil and gas business. Been in our backyard 115 years, employing our neighbors, investing in the community, doing things the right way. What does the future look like? Well, the long and the short of it is, if ExxonMobil wants to continue into the future at the same level that they've been in the past, it's going to involve remaining relevant on a global market. And that means carbon capture and storage. If you want to learn more about what they're doing and how they're going to approach it to make sure safety is at the forefront, you and me and our neighbors are at the forefront, visit aboutlaccs.com, aboutlaccs.com. Time for this day in history.
All right, going back to 1789, it was the establishment of the U.S. Department of State.
Really?
President George Washington signs that legislation into effect.
Okay, and?
Later renamed creating the Department of Foreign Affairs. I'm sorry. I'm trying to, my notes are all over the place this morning.
Okay, well, that's basically leading up to who was the first Secretary of State. Is what I was asking.
Oh, okay.
That would be
don't know.
One Thomas Jefferson.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Hey, can we take the clock back even further?
Yes.
On this day in 1377, lawmakers in Ragusa, the Adriatic Merchant Republic, now called Dubrovnik, they put in the first quarantine in the world to manage the spread of the Black Death.
Saw that.
The first quarantine ever. They were in Ragusa. Dr. Fauci said just 2 weeks to flatten the curve. 2 weeks to flatten the curve.
But way back in the 1300s.
Nothing? Okay. Fine. Just fine.
It
All
completely went over my head. Wait.
All right. Go ahead. What else happened today?
1940, Bugs Bunny makes his official debut.
Okay.
Releases the animated short, A Wild Hair.
Love
and then we're going to forever know him as, what's up, Doc?
Yep.
In 1965, President Lyndon B. Johnson signs a bill requiring cigarette manufacturers to print health warnings about the effects of cigarettes.
Okay.
Which is crazy because if you think about it, I was trying to think, okay, this 1960s, that was huge. All the men, all the women at the kitchen table, they were just blowing it up.
Yeah.
You know, and so I guess he had to come in and say, all right, we're going to have to put some effects on this.
On the cigarettes?
Yes.
Go back and watch the original Jaws. There's a scene where the mayor is smoking in a hospital. It's so baffling.
What?
So baffling in 2026. But yeah, Mayor Larry Vaughn, he's sucking down a heater in the middle of a hospital.
Well, I remember watching Mad Men, and I'm just sitting, I'm like, man, all these people do is just drink and smoke. And Mad Men, Jesus. All right, in 1976, Tina Turner filed for divorce from her husband Ike, ending their very violent 16-year marriage. 1987, Never Gonna Give You Up was released. 2017, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos briefly becomes the world's richest person, overtaking Bill Gates for half a day.
Okay.
Just half a day.
Half a day.
That's crazy.
Fun while it lasted.
In 2020, speaking of flattening the curve, the World Health Organization states that COVID-19 on this day in history was, in quote, easily the most severe global health emergency WHO has ever faced.
WHO, not WHO.
Well,
the World Health Organization, the WHO.
Let me say it right. Okay.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Also, this day in 1983, Madonna's first album, Like a Virgin, dropped. This day in 1984, the movie Purple Rain was released. And this day in 2012, the Ubix Pie Factory burned down.
Woo! No, not woo. No, I'm going for the Hewitt's Pie like I love the Hewitt's Pie. Okay. Keeping it brief, birthdays, Coach O.
Fantastic. Yeah, well, that was the one I had as well.
We got to keep it quick. Notable deaths.
Okay, Lindy Boggs in 2013, Bob Hope in 2003, and we'll go back to 2013 for Kid Craddock.
Oh, yes. How can I forget? And it is National Scotch Day.
National Chicken Finger Day. Go to Canes.
Oh, yeah.
Hey. Come on in. You're up next. Doing well. How about yourself?
Good.
Oh, hop on up here.
I'm popping at least.
Oh.
Yes, we met. No. Texas Club here.
What?
Yeah.
I got you. Right. Old Wade was in earlier here.
Yeah. I'm bummed about that. Yeah, please. .806 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 3 coming your way right now. Brian here with you. Bree Lynn producing. We are starting off the third hour at 81 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge as we broadcast live from the 180 Pros studio. We've got the BREC Room later this hour. We got Moon Griffon talking about everything under the sun in our next segment. We moved this day in history up to make room for Mayor President Sid Edwards. He's in with us right now. How are you, Coach?
I'm doing good. I saw you said it was 81 out there.
It is 81.
It's wintertime in Baton
that
Rouge
is a
this
brisk
morning.
81. A brisk 81. It's not going to stay 81.
No.
So last week was interesting.
Yes, it was.
So you had the city parish attorney hop on board with a lawsuit against the folks in St. George. Your office, or you had put out a statement, I should say, saying you didn't approve. You were not cool with it.
Right.
And then Mayor Pro Tem Brandon Knowles says, what's that all about? That doesn't sound like it's even coming from the office. And then you and the Mayor Pro Tem got together and as what happens when men do, you can work things out when you sit down face to face.
Yes.
Walk me through it.
Well, first off, let me say this with the parish attorney, John McClendon, and his attorneys. They work very hard. They are an elite group. John's very good. I have a ton of confidence in Mr. McClendon and their crew. I apologize to John on Friday for sort of my tone and rhetoric, okay? Grown men, we sit down and we talk about it. I also met with Brandon as well, over this deal. Here's the bottom line. There was a lot. It's a lot in this, what got put out there. In my statement, it says that, with Dustin Yates, Mary Yates of St. George, and myself, there was an agreement in principle. Well, Dustin and I had gotten down the road pretty far on discussing these things, everything from the constitutional offices to dates and everything else when we were working it out. And I got aggravated because I don't like litigation. This is something that's been a 12-year fight, and I don't want to get in that mess. I'm of the belief it's when I ran that we can work things out. And so in the beginning, something was filed. If you remember a month or so ago, we filed to bring in the constitutional offices, for every area to pay that we join. It's a Hiller's lawsuit, Hiller Moore's lawsuit.
Yes.
Okay, got brought into that. Well, likewise, had been negotiating with all the mayors, talking, in particular, Mayor Evans of Central and Mayor Yates of St. George. We had started those discussions about how can we work together to make that happen. So I guess just in the world I'm from, I believe in man to man, woman to woman, man to woman, whatever
we're not being sexist about it. Just grown up to grown up.
That's the world I live in, that it can be worked out. And I'm in a unique position, Brian. I am the mayor president of the parish, but I am the mayor of Baton Rouge proper.
Right.
And I catch a lot of grief about where I'm at and where I'm not at, right? Well, the way it works, Zachary, St. George, Baker, and Central have their own mayors and their own council.
Correct.
I am in those spaces, but I'm 95% of the time in Baton Rouge proper. But I don't feel real cool about being the mayor president and suing one of the cities or getting in litigation.
Right.
Because I want to come back to the suit part. But getting into litigation with them, and I'm about fair. And as far as incorporation date and all that, maybe at some point that will have to go to a court to say, hey, boom, here it is. Okay.
Right.
But in the meantime, I'm just trying to work with these guys. And then you get the deal where, some of the council was upset. Wait, there's an agreement in principle. We don't know nothing about it. Well, I keep things quiet, but I respect my counsel. And if the time presented itself and we had gotten, Dustin and I had gotten to a point, Dustin would have brought it to his counsel and I respectfully would have brought it to my counsel. It just wasn't time yet. Then when the litigation was filed, I don't want to say derailed, but it certainly stalled talks.
Sure. Well, and because there's multiple facets to this as well. And the part about good faith negotiations is you got to have faith on both sides.
That's right.
You got to have faith from the St. George side. St. George Council has to have faith in Dustin Yates the same way Dustin Yates has to have faith in you. You have to have faith in Dustin Yates, and the council over here has to have faith in you. That's the whole term, good faith. It runs the whole gambit. So that's part of it. But the other part is like, how close were we to seeing something that was to be presented or could have been presented?
I think we were closer than further away.
Yeah.
And that don't mean that's dead. That
No.
I mean, even with this, stuff that's filed, we're still can talk, still can work things out. And when I referenced the last thing, Klein Peter versus St. George, when I first saw, I didn't want to get, that's a zoning argument or something. I don't know, but it was explained to me by Mr. McClendon that it's not actually us suing. We're just jumping into that litigation because what's hanging in the balance is a possible incorporation date, could be tied to it. But either way, where's my stance? My stance is I believe we can work this out on our own. And if there's any points I come across, is my confidence in the people that work in our attorney's office. They work late. They don't clock out at 5. They're there all day, and I appreciate them. But at the same time, it's the same thing. I'm a football coach, right?
Right.
I'm the football coach. I don't want to go get my assistant principal to run the plays for me or the principal to run the plays for me.
Right.
I've got my part that I want to, and that's just my whole point, what I want to do.
So we got a couple of different things to address from within this, and you referenced, being apologetic towards John McClendon.
Right.
That's one part of it. Do you have any regret in the way this was handled on the Metro Council's end as well?
No really regret with them. I wish Brandon and I, everything's communication, and a lot about this whole thing is miscommunication and misunderstanding.
Oh yeah.
I wish Brandon would have called me prior to making a statement, but it's okay.
Well, but does he say the same thing though?
He does.
Okay.
And he'd have a point like, hey man, let me know what's up.
Yeah.
The whole thing about the negotiations or the talks, and I use the word negotiations lightly, about Mary Yates and I talking, is there was nothing to bring to anybody of true substance yet.
Right.
And you know how it is. Let's just say, hey, Brian, Dustin and I were talking, and let me tell you what we've came up with. How long does that stay with one person? Then all of a sudden it's out there.
Not if I'm doing my job.
Right. That's right. So we don't feel we were withholding anything. When the time was right, here again, it comes down to this. It only makes sense. What Dustin and I over a beer is going to say, oh, hey, we're going to make this decision for both of our cities and send it to the media.
Right.
No, we had to go to our people.
Right.
But here again, communication, but I don't hold anything against Brandon or any of our council, because here's my deal. I know everyone in this whole equation wants what's best for whatever they believe in, and I can respect that.
No, of course. Yeah. Problem is, though, there are still people that will be nipping at your heels to make St. George not a thing. Like, St. George is a thing, and a lot of people have come to accept that. A lot of people were on board with it from the start, but there are still people that are trying to deny the existence of a city that exists. That is a poison pill in the whole equation.
Yeah, St. George is a city, okay? And what I do, here again, being the parish president, I catch a lot of grief. Oh, Sid's only worried about St. George. He's in the seat to only take care of St. George. That's a lie. That's the furthest from the thing.
Right.
Okay? I can tell you, and I'll say it public. When do I believe? Ask me, when do I believe the incorporation date is?
When do you believe the incorporation date is?
It is my belief, 2024. And Brandon, I'm sorry, Dustin knows where I stand on that. And I know where he stands on it. But there's a ground in there somewhere where we can work together. But I got news. St. George did their deal. They voted, the people spoke, and they are a city.
Right.
Now, we've got to work the other end to tie all the loose ends together for them to go on and do their thing, much like Zachary, Baker, and Central.
Right.
And then Baton Rouge, here again, being the mayor of Baton Rouge, I say it again, 95% of my time is spent right here, boots on the ground here, doing what we need to do for Baton Rouge while overlooking and overseeing the whole parish.
I'm not going to open a conversation about deconsolidating, because it has proven to be a consolidated form of government. Has proven to be time and time again just an impossible to serve two different masters. It just is. But before I get you out of here, Dan, by the way, thank you for coming in this morning, because I know coming off the weekend, it's quick turnaround coming off the weekend. I do want you to spell out for me one paragraph from the statement that came out over the weekend. It says, together we're developing a new framework to improve communication and coordination among the administration, the Metropolitan Council, and the Parish Attorney's Office. We are proposing that, when appropriate, an item be placed on the Metropolitan Council agenda before the city parish initiates or responds to legal action. When would that be appropriate? Because we're talking about three different factions here who kind of have to work off the books before they work on the books. When does it become an on the books thing?
All right. Okay. So our plan of government's weird. Okay.
Right.
I'm trying to be nice. So if you take our parish attorney, he represents, if you look in it, he represents the mayor of East Baton Rouge Parish and the Metro Council.
Correct.
But he's hired by the council. Okay. And if there's a conflict or anything, he sides with the council. So say there was a conflict between me and the Metropolitan Council.
Mm-hmm.
I believe, as the mayor president of Baton Rouge, or whoever sits in this seat of East Baton Rouge Parish, I should have my own legal. I don't feel covered, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have confidence in John and his team. If we're all in agreement, I'll ride that McClendon horse all the way to Albuquerque.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's good. But in terms of what I don't agree with or something that's going on, I need my own. So what Brandon came up with that proposal, and I agree with him. If there's something that's going to litigation, okay, or something that's got to go to the court, and I guess there's some sensitivities you can't do it, and as to bring all the parties together, make it public, and a discussion, in a Metro Council meeting over it. Now there are some things I'm certain, and the lawyers can decide that, not me, they can't do. But I think what Brandon's coming up with is for more transparency, more understanding, and putting it full-fledged out there.
Right. And I'm following up with him to get him on, to get his back end as well, because it is going to involve the rest of the Metro Council as well. And to me, it honestly seems like an opening, a legitimate opening of a path that can be greater levels of communication through a messed up system. Or I'm sorry, a weird system.
Yeah, messed up's not far off.
Well,
but I think it is, and here again, I think everyone involved wants what's best, but in politics, we find that what's best often could be chopped up 20 different ways, depending on the opinion.
He is Mayor President Sid Edwards. I greatly appreciate you coming in this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Because a lot happened in a short period of time. So I appreciate you spelling it out.
Hey, look, man, we getting it. Don't worry about it. We're figuring it out, and we're gonna roll.
Quick break. We got Moon Griffon talking everything under the sun with. We got Moon Griffon coming up talking everything under the sun with Moon next. Awesome stuff. Kill. Unbelievable stuff. Whew. Who takes it easy on a Monday, huh? My word, 8:23 at Talk 107.3 FM. Oh, we're long. We got to get to Moon Griffon. He's on with us now. He's coming up 9 o'clock right here on Talk 107.3. Moon, how are you, brother?
Man, I'm doing great. I was jamming to the music.
Little Bruno Mars coming in. Gotta love it.
I said, this is a good Monday, man. Y'all jamming. I love it.
We've been all over the place this morning, Moon. We had the mayor of Central's not running for re-election. Just had President Sid Edwards in with us. But I want to start off with you by taking it back to a topic I covered the 6 o'clock hour, and that's Jeff versus Mitch. Get the popcorn, man.
Well, I think there's got a lot of people being defensive down there. And I never saw anything that Landry said that was really wrong. I think the fight is with the city government, not the people. They trying to make it sound like it's the people. But you're going to have some of that. Mitch actually literally wants to be president of the United States. And I think he's looking for angles to get his area kind of pumped up about him. And I tell you what, this thing with Liz Murrow, to me, is worse than this spat with these two. What they try to do to Liz and end up dropping the charges, I think it's very serious. And I noticed a lot of people have just kind of, well, look, they given up, they quit, so Liz and them ought to just let everything go. But, you know, you talk about an indictment, 80 years in prison, $400,000 bond. I mean, that's tough to take, and I'm saying you drop it. And Liz says she spent $250,000 of her personal money. So I think that's the bigger fight right now than Jeff and Mitch.
No, it is, but it's where all the different fights started. And look, I'm a big believer in if you don't start nothing, ain't gonna be nothing, right? And it started with the indictments.
Right,
yeah,
I didn't think about it like that, Ron, but you're right on the money. But you know, when you brag that you're the biggest economic engine, which I'm not arguing that
they are.
Okay, so I can't argue with the numbers and the money and all that stuff. Then why are you having money from? Why you keep coming back and getting money from the state? Why you keep coming and get back money from the bond commission? I mean, if you got so much money and you think you're so bad, then why don't you just run your show? Well, they're not running the show properly, and that's a fact.
Well, and a lot of this has to do with, like, none of these are Helena Moreno's problems, or no, none of these were problems created by Helena Moreno. A lot of them were created by the previous administration. But if you really zoom out, these things have been created or built up over literal generations of time. When the governor comes out and says New Orleans is not as important as it once was, he's talking about on a global scale. You're not as important with 340,000 people as you were with 650,000 people. You have declined of your own policies. When people moved to Jefferson Parish because of the overbearing tax burden within Orleans, I grew up in Mandeville and Covington. That shouldn't be a thing if not for New Orleans creating policies that made it more convenient to move out and commute in.
You know, Brian, you hit it on the head. I had a former Senator Conrad Appel on the other day, and he was talking about all the companies that used to be there, Shell being one of them, that just got out. And they didn't take care of their business on the business side. You're trying to make it up on tourism, and there's a big difference between people that live there, work there, making a good living, spending money, than people coming into the community. So he's got a good grip. He lives in New Orleans. I've had him on, Laura Rodriguez, talking about how bad Miss Andrew was as a mayor. But it's been their culture that's caused the problem, and basically from their government. And so you can't stick your chest out and say we the big bad boys on the block, but then why do you come back begging for money? So it's a cultural situation now that's been developed. I agree with you, not over the last few years, but over 40 years. The only thing I say about Moreno, she sat on that council for 20 years. She was the president. She was the vice president. She voted for a lot of those budgets. The press keeps saying she inherited. She didn't inherit it. She voted for it. You can't inherit something you vote for.
Yes and no, because, and I'll say the same thing. I'll go ahead and take up for Mitch Landry for a quick second too. He had no business getting in this spat, but Mitch Landrieu inherited so much 4-year-old, 5-year-old garbage that Ray Nagin just literally ignored. I mean, from August 29th, 2005 till Ray Nagin left office, I can't tell you one thing that man did. So Mitch came in with a mountain in front of him, knocked a lot of it down. He got applauded for paving streets. Like, how bad is your city when you can pave Carrollton and that's a big day? Like, it just, so he inherited a lot. I agree. Moreno, she had a voice on the council, but there is no way to account for everything LaToya did to just bleed money and power and everything else out of the city.
I listen, we can sit here and argue back and forth because I'm not going to disagree with one thing you said. Landrew was there. Landrew was there for a bunch of years, and he was there when they were supposed to fix the flooding problem and all that. And
right.
all that never got fixed.
Yeah.
I don't think Mitch was a good leader for the city. I'm not going to listen, Brian. Here's the thing: we're arguing. Everyone inherits something worse from the one before, but they don't really improve on it that much. And it still becomes a problem over the long period of time. There's some deep stuff that you just mentioned, 30, 40 years of it, that has never been addressed. It's got to be addressed eventually.
And part of being addressed has to involve a little bit, just a modicum of humility. And that's where I keep losing connection with the world. Forget your politics. Forget Republican, Democrat. Forget policies of the last 40 years. Offer up an ounce of humility that says we are half the city we used to be. We want to get back on the right track. I need a little bit of help along the way. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, well, I just think the state has given them plenty of money through the years. And I don't think giving them money without wholesome corrections are going to make a difference.
Oh, no, 100%, Moon. You're right, 100%. Look, the money has to be accompanied with some level of guidance. Look, I got a copy of Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University on the shelf behind me. They can have that.
Yeah. Hey, we all need that one. Send that to the federal government, too, because they need it more than anybody.
Right? Oh, my goodness. No. Well, I want to keep it at home. Let's solve a solvable, because that's unsolvable out there. What else you got on this show today?
The SAVE Act is probably in trouble.
Yep.
There's a bunch of senators that just not going to pass it. So I don't know if the federal government can get a budget passed. It's just so splintered now, and we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Well, God forbid it get in the way of their vacation.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
He's Moon Griffon coming up. We got you coming up a half hour from right now, 9 to noon right here on Talk 107.3 FM. Always appreciate the time, brother.
Thank you, my man.
We'll talk to you soon. Oh, my goodness. I ran a little bit long right there. I do need to remind you what the Baton Rouge Metro Airport, flybtr.com is the website. Flybtr.com. Daily flight to D.C. leaves out at 7 o'clock in the morning, comes back same evening. Don't even have to book a hotel room. Learn more at flybtr.com. Don't forget, booking your travel for LSU football as well. flybtr.com. Yes, it's time for the BREC Room. 834 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Every Monday at about 8:30, we hand off from Mornings with Brian Haldane into the BREC Room, getting caught up on everything going on with the Baton Rouge Recreational Department. Janet's out today. She's traveling today. We got Maurice Velasquez in studio. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. Beautiful weekend. I was able to go to New York. Visit my son there last week. It was good.
How is he? I haven't seen him in
He's
forever.
great. Greetings, by the way. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. He worked closely with you guys for quite a while.
Yeah.
He's doing really well. Getting back was tough, man. Got stranded in New York airport for 2 days or so. Yeah, the weather here and the weather up there, man.
With the smoke? Is it the Canadian smoke?
Well, no, actually, just there was storms up there and the storms down here.
Okay.
But interesting. You see the movie Terminal? That's exactly what it felt like.
Okay.
It's like I met more travel agents than I'd ever thought in my entire life in one sitting.
Okay. Well, then.
But I'm glad to be home.
See, I should have held on to that Baton Rouge Metro Airport spot till right now.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Always a great endorsement for BTR.
Yeah, it's
flying in your own backyard.
It was great.
We're going to start off with, I just came back from an AAU basketball tournament.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hold on to some rage for a minute.
Okay.
Not aimed at locally.
No,
not
but
locally.
But
no.
It is. It's fine.
I
usually call this the radio show or the hot seat, so I'm ready.
I
hope I'm ready.
We'll dive into this. Is a thing of like we're gonna have the chance to dream a little bit. So it's not rage. Yes. It's funneled.
Okay.
Rage at Gulf Shores.
Okay.
Want to bring it home to make it better. We'll talk about that a little bit.
All right.
Okay. The July community meeting over for City Brooks Park.
Very successful.
Tell me about
it. We had a lot of people. We had over 200 people in attendance. Over 25 comment cards, 60 speakers. Predominantly, the vast majority of what was said throughout was strong support for the preservation of golf, or number two, concerns with the potential conservancy governance model. There was a lot of questions about that. They want to see much more public access and transparency, and make sure that whatever we do, that we actually improve the park now.
Right.
Let's not forget about the fact that we have a responsibility now. Number five. There were a lot of people expressing concerns and just a lot of questions, concerns, and doubts about the process itself and the decision making.
Okay.
So I'll talk about that a little bit here, and then just overall the park maintenance, and the long term management. I just gave you the 6 primary themes that were discussed and that were brought out by everybody, but we did not have 2 seconds of silence. It was well organized. It was very civil. Everyone was extremely professional. That's the way it should be. And the minute the microphone started, we had a very long list of pre-registered folks to speak up, and we're very thankful for it. So
I was at a different meeting just up the road that night.
Okay.
But passing Independence Park was my route home.
Oh yeah.
And I got out of my other meeting slightly after 8:00, and y'all were still going.
Yeah.
I mean, it was still a full parking lot, a 3/4 full parking lot. By
probably 8:30, 9 o'clock.
All right.
Yeah, it was good. Go ahead.
Oh, it was State Representative Dixon McMakin.
Yes.
He's been quite vocal about this, and he's not presenting complaints; he's presenting solutions.
No. And a lot of we met with him.
Good.
And a lot of what he's saying is already incorporated into one of the scenarios. So we have an open communication with him.
Okay.
So we're not like we're saying no, it's our show, and whatever. It's we're not going to be open to any other ideas. So no, we met with him. We've also met with a handful of other organizations since then, and so we're trying to be very open to ongoing input and ongoing feedback and ongoing critique and concerns.
So we've got, and I don't know if there's a date for it yet, but I understand that there's going to be another public meeting before it's all said.
That one is, there's no date yet, early mid-September.
Okay.
It'll be a workshop style type of presentation, followed by, we're going to try to build it in such a way so it's more like breakout sessions with the public. We're going to divide them into different groups. But yes, we're going to announce that in the next week or so. As a matter of fact, one of the major meetings I'm going to this week is to set dates for some of this and go ahead and announce them. So we're looking for that community meeting for it to be somewhere early mid-September.
Okay, so of my impatience along the way, but y'all have done a remarkable job. BREC, to your credit, has done a remarkable job of, do you want it done right or do you want it done fast?
Yeah, it is. And
I'm hearing more good ideas along the way.
Hopefully
that could have been shut down. Like if you'd shut down the process a year ago and just this is it, we're rolling. But y'all have been open to feedback.
Well, what's
it's been
interesting
beneficial.
Is when Janet and I arrived, we found out that this conversation has been going on for 20 years with at least 1, 2, possibly 2 different master plans. And here we are 20 years later, and the conversation's still going on, and a lot of the stakeholders and a lot of people in a lot of the community had not been brought together. So what we've tried to do is speed up the process, but not because we're trying to jump over or cut corners, but because this conversation has been going on for so long, it's gotten stale, it's gotten stalled, it's gotten frustrated. And so what we've tried to do is set up a structure. All right, let's get out to the community, let's set up the community meetings, the stakeholder meetings, bring everybody together. That's a little bit of where the difficulty's been. Everybody hearing everybody else's opinion, you know what I'm saying, at the table. So, but we have to, because if we skip that major step. So the phase that we're in right now is still collecting the feedback, getting with all the key stakeholders in the area, local community leaders, groups, individuals, just like we did. And we're going to have at least one, possibly two more meetings with the public between now and mid-September. Then the recommendations go to the commission, and then sometime in the fall, decisions will be made. So remember, right now we're still in study phase, analysis phase, discovery phase, redrawing phase. So we haven't made any decisions yet.
Well, and a big part of this, and I don't feel like the part's it's not being ignored, but it hasn't been talked about a whole lot yet, is there's about to be a transition in leadership.
Yeah, that starts next week.
Now, and that's so much more than just City Brooks Park, but for BREC, new BREC superintendent's about to roll on in.
Brooks officially starts a week from today. And so the vibe is extremely positive, very energetic. We've been staying in contact with him. He's been very involved with us in the last month and a half during this transition. But yeah, he starts next week. So we're looking forward to his new leadership, and the transition between us and his new team is very important. So we're trying to make sure that, just as smooth as it was for us to come in, we're trying to set up a very smooth transition for him to come in and be able to pick up things without having to start from scratch.
Now, a lot of what you and Janet have worked on has been the behind the scenes stuff, the clearing up of procedures, the clearing up of the books, the getting caught up on the audits, getting us up to speed on that front.
Correct.
But a lot of stuff that like Brooks Williams, the new superintendent, could just move in and take over without really messing with his potential vision.
That's right. A lot of what we've tried to really standardize is probably, like you said, the finances. If that did get resolved, everything else was going to be a question. Secondarily, cross-department collaboration. Instead of operating more like silos, really strong collaboration. And we've seen that happen. It's moved in the right direction. And the third, which we're diving in more and more every month, is more project management adherence. Okay. Which is, where are we with the parks? Where are we with the programs? A lot of what I think you're going to touch on on your trip, where are we with some of our big ideas? Okay. Why have things like City Brooks Park? Why did they stall? And why is it so common at BREC for projects to just hit a wall? And that when we got there, we realized and found out that a lot of projects that's happened to. So those three areas: financial adherence, okay, cross interdepartmental collaboration, and third, project management excellence has been our focus. So that when Brooks and his team come in, he doesn't have to restructure all that. He can just come in and lay his vision and what he wants to do.
Well, I might have even argued that, like, without all that, I don't know that you have takers for the job.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it makes the job a lot more appealing to be handed over. You're fresh on audits. You've cleaned up the back porch.
When the commissioner sat with us and said, "Can you guys help us get it to this level?" That's what we said. Yes, we can certainly do it, knowing that we're setting it up for the next administration. So we're excited about that. Very excited about that.
All right, we're going to go ahead and pivot, and I'm going to try not to go off on too much of a rant here.
Yeah.
But I just came home from an AAU tournament.
We warn everybody we're now off script here.
We're completely. I just came home from an AAU tournament in Gulf Shores, Alabama.
All right.
And everywhere we go for these tournaments, you have these multi-gym places built out for youth sports.
Right.
And youth sports is a revenue driver for all the places we go to. Absolutely. I get that. But every single one of them is doing it wrong when it comes to these, like for basketball and volleyball specifically, where you have an indoor sport. They'll build out a facility that's a bunch of courts all in a row, but it's chaos within.
Oh, wow.
It's great to have practices on 4 or 5 courts all in a row. But when you're bringing in parents and family members to come watch the games, now it gets overcrowded. When you've got a game going on court 2 and a game going on court 3, you can't tell whose whistle is being blown. Like it's just this weird thing where there's what's economic to build out. I don't know that BREC even has a gym like this. We have Sportsplex, which is
that's the closest one to that, right?
Right, where it has 3 courts and the drop down curtains in between. But to see this level of chaos, and everywhere we go, we see the same thing.
Right.
And it's not being fixed. I don't know if it's economical on the front end, but it's definitely not customer service on the back end.
Yeah. So we don't have anything to that. And that's a big problem. That's one of the projects that has landed on our radar. And the question is whatever happened to it? So that is most definitely on our list of things that we need to tackle. We have actually been traveling to different places primarily throughout the state, trying to and meeting with organizations and facilities that are doing it correctly. There are quite a handful in the state that are doing it very well.
Okay.
So we're trying to model our model to theirs. Okay. And then when Brooks and his administration start, we're going to have for him basically a huge project document of everything that's on the table, everything that's about to start, everything that's been wished upon, and we're going to prioritize this. And hopefully soon, by September 20th, we're going to be announcing what a lot of these projects, because we really desperately need a lot of these go-to facilities to attract more attention here rather than a lot of our families and youth going everywhere else.
So for free, voluntarily.
Okay, sure.
When it comes to building out a youth sports gym for basketball, bring me in as a consultant.
Perfect.
Because I could tell you, and I'm not saying this with any ego at all.
Absolutely.
But I could tell you everything that's wrong with all the ones that are out there right now because they're not user-friendly on game day.
Well, so let me use this as an opportunity for any listener. You guys just heard what Brian said. I want to be part of that group that talks about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's why we created what's called our athletic council, where we want to attract and invite anybody who's interested in saying, look, I'm very interested in being part of the conversation regarding the pickleball facility. I'm very interested in extreme sports. Okay. I'm very interested in this. Whatever you're interested, contact us, contact me. Okay. And we will put you in the right group that's having the discussions for those projects that are coming up regarding that. So now's the time for everybody to call me, or reach out to them. I'm going to get a lot of emails. And say, hey, look, I want to be part of this committee. I want to be part of this team. That's exactly what we need. And right now we've been collecting a lot of people's interest to be part of this again, so that when Brooks comes, we'll have a whole list of, look, here's all the stakeholders we've pulled and identified to help us move a lot of these projects forward.
We have got Maurice Velasquez in with us for the BREC Room. I'm going to pause with Maurice and bring on Sharon King. Talk a little bit about the outdoors and natural resource management. Sharon, welcome to Talk 107.3. How are you?
Oh, thank you so much. I am doing well.
We're gonna have a quick break coming up in 3 minutes. So if we have to hold you over, we'll hold you over during that. But let's start off with where we're at with natural resource management. I mean, we're in the middle of summer right now. So what is your schedule looking like about this time?
It is looking like my people in the field with a lot of sweat.
Okay.
So it is the growing season, yes. So we are out there trimming back overgrowth on trails. We are trimming back and managing vegetation in our grow zones, in our restoration areas, in our pollinator gardens, pretty much everywhere that we work, which is any of the natural areas on BREC's properties. We have a project. We just had a group with us last week, American Youth Corps. We get them to come help us every year, a few times a year. Bunch more hands, and we were out at Frenchtown Road Conservation Area and taking care of invasive Ardesia. So we also do all that.
I'm sorry, invasive what?
Ardesia.
What's that?
It is a plant that was brought in, years ago for landscaping. It's also called Christmas berry. Unfortunately, it gets really out of control in natural systems. It was originally from Japan. It stays nice and tidy in Japan, and it was brought over here. People plant it in their yards. It seeds, it grows, it takes over. So if you've been to Frenchtown, most people have noticed this plant because you walk on our trails and you're like, geez, what is all of this plant? That is a monoculture. That is just solid one thing growing there, and that would be Ardesia crenata.
How quickly can invasive plants or invasive species take over, say a trail?
Well, it depends, of course, on the species, but literally in our environment, within a year, you can have a problem where it's manageable and everyone's like, oh, that's not a problem. You don't do anything. The next year, you're like, whoops.
Well, I bring that up because we have 11 different parks that have trails. We have 30 miles plus of trails. So that has your work cut out for you.
Oh, absolutely. And, I'd like to point out we are not just trails. So we really do have our work cut out for us. We do habitat evaluations and planning. We have 5 conservation areas that we need to have a handle on as far as habitat quality. and just what we have out there, right? We have 9 nature reserves that we are that we oversee, and then people may not realize, but a lot of our trails are in what we call conservation management units, which we actually have in 25 different parks. These are areas that are part of other parks, like a neighborhood park or community park, but they're the natural areas.
Let me hop in real quick. We got Sharon King with us talking natural resource management. This is the BREC Room. We got to take a quick break for your money now. Oh. So you got basketball courts, and there's the place we were at had 4 of them all in a row. Now we've been to some that have had as many as I'm going to say 7 was the biggest one I've been at. But down the middle here, there's nothing.
Did they have a mesh curtain or anything like that?
This is where they would seat between courts 1 and 2. You got the benches for the players.
Nothing in between. No mesh
Scorers
curtain.
table here. No mesh. No nothing.
Okay, got it.
So you get scorers tables and then bench, and then between courts 2 and 3, there's absolutely nothing there.
Okay.
So one of the things that never gets overlooked with every single gym that's built is video is a part of basketball.
Sure.
Video is a part of every kid's sport now. So you had everybody setting up their tripods.
Right.
And the number of times a ball leaves the court and knocks down a tripod, and the ball leaves the court and gets to the other court is just ridiculous. The amount of space in between, if you want to maximize the space of the building, they're minimizing the space in between courts. It's horrible. And then along the wall, you got chairs all the way along the wall on both sides because you want to minimize space that you have to build out. No bleachers whatsoever.
Really?
We've been to one that has actually had
Where was
bleachers
this?
on the baseline. This was Gulf Shores, Alabama.
Okay.
And by the way, everything else about the facility was amazing. You go outside, they have a full turf football field, 4 beach volleyball courts, and then they've got space rented out for like a CrossFit type gym, a physical therapist in there, a Pilates class in there, all subbed out to people who are paying
That's the way it
rent.
should be. Right.
Yes.
Right.
Paying rent and using the facility. If
Correct.
I'm working physical therapy,
We're simply the owners and the landlords.
Yes.
Right.
And the partnership is beautiful.
Yeah.
Like,
all right. Well, let's dive back into this area.
Sure.
Okay. And then for this, we just need 30 seconds for that. That's it. We don't spend much time on that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, right back to it at 8:53 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. This is the BREC Room. We hand off every Monday to catch up with BREC because there's so much going on. We were with Sharon King, who's handling natural resource management. Sharon, if we could pivot, because I want to talk. We had about 3 minutes left with you. I want to talk about some recent donations that are headed your way. Tell me a little bit about what Nickel State is up to.
Oh, well, that was a donation that we got. We got like over 600 trees that they grew out in their greenhouses in their facilities at Nickel State for actually, I believe, another grant.
Okay.
So this was with the Barataria terrebone estuarine research reserve program. It's a mouthful. But I got a call from them to say, hey, we had some things change and the timeline changed on this project we have. So now we have trees that we just want to give to people who will put them in the ground. And I was like, great, we will do it. Because that's always my answer, like, great, we will do it. And I'm like, so what are we talking, like 50 trees, 100 trees? He says, thousands. I'm like, yes. I said, when can we come? So, we loaded it. We took our trailer, emptied out the trailer, headed down to Thibodaux and got over 600 trees. We were cramming trees in every possible nook.
What kind of trees?
Oh, all kind of native species. We had at least 6 to 8, I think, native species. So anywhere, red maples, the common stuff, persimmon, yopon, beautyberry, all kind of natives.
All right, very, very cool stuff.
So yeah, and it was fantastic timing because I don't know if you're familiar or think much about the drought of 2023. You may have not been thinking about that recently, but we are still thinking about that because it killed thousands of trees in our system, canopy trees, like full-size huge trees. You saw trees come down all over East Baton Rouge Parish. And this year, our forestry division, which is part of park operations, they got a bunch of contractors this year to take out dangerous trees. So they have been just taking out trees all over the place. And one of those sites is Bluebonnet Swamp, which is an iconic conservation site. Mm-hmm. Everyone who has been to a BREC park mostly will say, oh, I've been to Bluebonnet Swamp. Well, it really, like, removing all these trees kind of changed the character of the swamp because it was completely forested and we had to take out all these dead and dying trees. So this was just fantastic timing for us to get all this big donation of trees. So I'm like, we're starting to plant. And we got a group from Whole Foods came out. They had over 30 people. We put in, I think it was 250 trees with them. Now, these are all like 1 gallon trees, not huge trees, but they will grow.
Right.
And then since we still had so many trees and I was already pushing it because it was like April and I don't want to put trees in the middle of summer. So we got our Green Forest volunteers to come out a couple more times in the next week after that. Mm-hmm. And we put in over 300 more. So just that one site put in over 500 trees and shrubs to just help this reforestation effort. And then we potted up all the rest into bigger pots so that we could hold them over. And we will be planting again November, December, January.
Very cool stuff. Awesome
very
stuff.
Exciting. Really exciting stuff.
She is Sharon King, handling natural resource management. Appreciate a couple minutes this morning. Thank you so much for hopping on board.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. We got about 2 minutes left to go here, Maurice. Before we get too far down the road, the interesting stuff about replacing the things from 23. That was because I don't think for most of them we just kind of missed that.
Yeah,
it just kind of happened and nobody really took note of it. But
she's doing a great job.
That's a very cool thing, and the fact that they're adaptable here because normally if you hear trees being farmed for coastal maintenance, it's gonna be a certain type of tree that deals with exactly that. But they're adaptable to us here, which is very cool as well. All right, before we get out of here, Sunset Splash, tell me about it.
It takes place tomorrow night, July 28th, Tuesday, from 6 to 9 p.m. at Liberty Lagoon. Definitely encourage everybody to come out.
What is it?
It goes till later in the evening, past the closing hours.
Okay.
So it's a splash that stays open. Everybody to enjoy the evening night, and enjoy the splash.
Is it separate from do you have to clear out for the daytime to go back in the evening? It's just extended hours.
Correct.
All right.
So and if we could put a tease, let's continue this conversation that we just had
100%
for next week.
No,
I
absolutely.
think we need to do that. So if anything, what I'd like to let everyone know is set a date, August the 20th.
Mm-hmm.
We have a pretty significant press conference. Okay.
Because
it's where we're going to be announcing this whole combination of what you were referring to earlier, the importance of enhancing recreational play, recreational facilities, public-private partnerships. Okay?
That's a big part. By the way, that's a big part of where we just were too.
Yeah, because BREC doesn't have a whole lot of that. As you notice, there's very little sponsorship in our parks. So we're going to be announcing some really good, exciting things. And part of that partnership is our partnership and relationship with the law enforcement agencies throughout the whole parish.
Okay,
so it's going to be really, really exciting press conference. We're going to have a lot of people there. The mayor's going to be there. So August 20th at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of room to run on that. Public-private partnership used to be a little bit taboo, but I think as you've seen communities do it right, we know we can pick up and run with it as well.
That's
so
right. Okay, so we'll dive into that next week.
Absolutely. In the meanwhile, thank you as always.
Likewise.
Yep. We're just about done for the day. We got literally 30 seconds left of the show. Let me go ahead and tease Moon Griffon's coming up 9 to noon right here on Talk 107.3 FM. He's going to take you inside that social media spat between Mitch Landrieu and Jeff Landry. Also coming up tomorrow, we've already got a full slate, but yes, it will include Congressman Troy Carter, a little DC Current presented by LABI. Going to be coming your way tomorrow. That'll be at 8:35. We've already got a full slate for us tomorrow, so we're ready to roll. In the meanwhile, ABC News is up. We're back at it tomorrow. Thank y'all so much for playing along.